Video capture device. I really apologize for these technical problems, but that's really, really bad. So let me just change some things. The resolution is going to be a little bit smaller. Then use buffering. The frame rate is going to be 30, and there we go. So you should be able to see me quite well now. So, and on this particular thing, I'm going to add another video capture device, the same one, and I'm going to also just do something like this. Just, you know, adjust things around, put something like that. And there we go. So the T, I think I know what kind of happened. The T is still kind of hot, but it shouldn't be. So it should be around like 90 Celsius, but not like over like 100 or anything like that. So I really apologize for these technical problems. Let's continue. So we need to have something like solve a file, right? So maybe the camera is too big, but maybe it's not, whatever. Solve a file, and we're gonna accept the file path, right? We're gonna accept the file path, and this is where we're gonna say echo. I think this is not how we do that. Input file, file path. So, and you solve in each individual file. Each individual file is going to be, maybe you can do something like that, as file path and then file path. There we go. Okay, so let's introduce, let's introduce the thing. Test index PHP. PHP index PHP, and here we're gonna have inputs. Here we're gonna have inputs. And I think we're gonna have at least sample, right? So we're gonna have at least sample. Sample txt. And just a second, I need to double check some other stuff. Okay, cool. I think everything's okay. So yeah, we're not gonna have anything here, and in the makefile we only have that, and this thing has to be funny, right? We're gonna make it a funny thingy, and let's just try to do make, and it didn't work because of semicolon, and there we go. So here is the input file. We are ready to take a look at the description of the problem because we're ready to solve it. The boilerplate is prepared. So I need a little bit more T. And today we're solving 14th problem. Hopefully it's not going to be too long to read, and the description is not going to be super crazy. Okay, so it's not that big of a text, so we'll see how it goes. I will see how it goes. Alright. As your ferry approaches the seaport, the captain asks for your help again. The computer system that runs this port isn't compatible with the docking program on the ferry, so the docking parameters aren't being correctly initialized in the docking program's memory. After a brief inspection, you discover that the seaport's computer system uses a strange bit mask system. So, oh, they're giving us the definition of what a bit mask. Okay, that's handy. In its initialization program, although you don't have the correct decoder chip handy, you can emulate it in software. Stream laggy? No, it's not supposed to be laggy. Lags again. I have no idea what is going on. I'm really sorry, guys. So the initialization program, your puzzle input can either update. Is it laggy right now? Is it laggy right now? I can see that we dropped a couple of frames, but is it laggy right now? Shouldn't be laggy right now. And there's probably like a huge delay because nobody's answering. Oh, okay. Okay. So we have a bit mask. So a brief inspection discovered that the seaport computer uses a strange bit mask system in its initialization program. Although you don't have the correct decoder chip handy, you can emulate it in software. The initialization The initialization program, your puzzle input, can either update the bit mask or write value to memory. Initialization program, your puzzle input, can either update the bit mask or write value to a memory. Values and memory addresses are both 36-bit unsigned integers. Okay, that's kind of funny. So that means you'll have to use 64 bits, you know, things. But I wonder if you can have them in PHP. Is that a thing that you can have in PHP? Like, for example, if I do something like to the power of 69, not 69, 63, and I try to print something like this in PHP, will that work? So is that something that PHP can support? Okay, and it uses floats? Really? Is that what it does for this kind of shit? Only doubles like probably. Yeah, I think it supports only doubles, but maybe we can work with that. Okay, so let's continue. Whatever. The initialization program. Okay. The bit mask is always given as a string of 36 bits written with the most significant bit. Most significant bit on the left, okay, representing 2 to the power 65 on the left, and least significant bit on the right. Alright, that makes sense. The current bit mask is applied to values immediately before they are written to memory, as 0 or 1. The current bit mask is applied to values immediately before they are written to memory, as 0 or 1, overwrites the corresponding bit in the value, while X leaves the bit in the value unchanged. For example, consider the following program. Okay, so you have a mask, right? This program starts by specifying a bit mask. The mask it specifies will overwrite 2 bits in every written value. The 2th bit is overwritten with 0. The 64 bits is overwritten with 1. Okay. The program then attempts to write a value 11 to memory address 8. By expanding memory out to the individual bits, the mask is applied as... Okay, so here's the value. Alright. Okay, I see. So here's the value. This mask is applied to that memory. That mask is applied to that memory. And the resulting writing is going to be that. The resulting writing. So because of the mask, the value 73 is written to memory address 8 instead. Then the program writes, tries to write 101 to the address 7, and this is what happens. This time the mask has no effect. Yeah, that makes sense. It has no effect. As the bits it overwrote were already the values. Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. 64 is written to address 65. Okay. To initialize your fairy docking program, you need to... fairy docking program sounds like some sort of like a swear phrase, like a fairy docking program. Yeah, damn fairy docking programs. You need to sum all of the values. Okay, to initialize your fairy's docking program, you need to sum all of the values left in memory after the initialization program complete. The entire 60-bit address space begins initialized to the value 0 at every address. In the above example, only 2 values in the memory are not zeros, 101 and 64, introducing a sum of 165. Okay. So let me see what's gonna happen. So this is gonna be our sample, by the way. This is gonna be our sample. Sample txt, right? So this is a sample txt, and let's try to see what's gonna happen. And I'm kind of also curious. What's gonna be the actual input here? How big the input? So there's quite a few things here, and it's 562 values. It's all right. I suppose it is all right. So the size of the memory is unknown, right? If I understand correctly. So the size is unknown. Well, I mean, it is kind of known because you can probably address it by these values, but there is fucking program. Yes, there is fucking program. So that's the input. Okay, so it's not that difficult to parse as far as I can tell, so I'm not going to focus on that too much. The question is, how do you fucking read the how do you read the file in PHP? PHP read file. I know you can include files. File get contents. Nice. You can just literally get the contents. File name, context. Rutifand subscribed with tier 1. Thank you so much for tier 1 subscription for 6 months, and welcome to our epic PHP club. Literally PHP club. We're actually unironically programming in PHP. Absolutely fucking epic, mate. All right, so file get contents. Is there some examples? I really like how they get have examples. Oh, you can even you know, get the file content by URL. I think that's kind of cool. But what about read file? What about read file? So maybe that's how I have to do that. Let me try to do that. If I try to do something like echo read file file path, it should give me that. So in makefile, here's a sample, and if I try to run it, I think I got it. And what the fuck is 80? I'm not sure what the fuck is 80, but okay, go. So let me read more about this. Reads a file and writes it to the output buffer. This is probably not out. Yeah, this is not what we need. File gets content. File exists. File reads entire file into an array, not a string. Is there any difference between arrays and string in PHP? Probably, I don't know. Let's give it a try. So so it's gonna be something like index PHP, and let's do something like file, right? So this is gonna be by the way, I forgot like a new line here. I think it's quite important. Array to string conversion in. Okay. All right. So what the hell is that? Oh, I thought it's a URL. I thought it's a URL with documentation. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Okay. So PHP array to string. This is really dumb. Like, why can I implode array to string? Okay. So join array elements with a string. Holy shit, it's slow. Really? Why can't I just read the file as the string? Why is it so difficult to do that? I just want to read the file. Maybe this is what I'm gonna do. File gets contents. But it's kind of like sus that it accepts URLs instead of like file paths, but maybe whatever. So it also accepts true somewhere here. Do I have to provide anything? Use include path. Okay, so I'm gonna just try this one. File get contents. Right. So okay, I finally managed to do that. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Goddamn PHP. All right. So now I should be able to split this entire thing into lines, because that's exactly what I want to do. So I'm gonna explode it, right? Because in PHP you explode the string. Explode the string. There's also str split. I don't know what's the difference between explode and str split. So, but neither do I care. So maybe this is how I have to split it. And after that, I should try to do for each. We can save it to lines, I suppose. Like this. Does it have var? it does have a var keyword, but I'm not sure if it's how you do that. So yeah. Now for each lines as line, I want to print them separately on each individual line, but also modify them to indicate, to actually check that we're reading them line by line, right? Okay, so what's gonna happen? And nothing's gonna happen because this is not how we do that. Alright, and it also contains the empty line that I don't really care about, so that's quite important. Is there any way to take the length of the line? PHP string length. How do you do that in PHP string length? Very simple thing. There is this strlen, strlen, and they take that from C. Okay, that's okay. So if strlen line is greater than 0, only then we're gonna try to print that to, you know, exclude any of this garbage at the end of this thing, right? Exclude any of this garbage. All right, so the next thing we need to do, we need to split everything by equals, right? If you take a look at the sample, right, so each individual instruction always separated by equals, and then after that we'll be able to quickly check. Okay. How to quickly check, we can quickly check what exactly we have to do. Either we have to do like a mask situation or start situation. We might as well, you know, prepare the variable mask. By the way, is there any way to define a variable in PHP? Because like this doesn't look like a definition, right? So, I mean, yeah, at least declare, right? How to declare a variable. PHP declare variable. And also, does PHP have a strict mode where it does not allow you to use variables that you have not declared? Declare. Creating, so yeah, okay. Okay, PHP strict mode. Is there something like that? Strict typing, no, this is not what I meant, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so it seems to be working. So this is the mask, and let me take the line and do explode, and we're gonna do it like equals. I split this line, and we're gonna call it instruction, right? So it's gonna be instructions. Maybe op, so this is an operator. And what I want to do here, I want to actually echo op. I probably cannot do that. Is it possible to have something like that? Is it possible in PHP string interpolation to have these kind of things, like the expressions? It is possible, but Emacs doesn't show me that, unfortunately. So I'm not sure if I can trust you, boys and girls. I'm not sure if I can trust you. Yeah, I cannot trust. Oh, well, I can. Yeah, I can trust you. So I see. Cool. Alright. So, but probably Emacs. Emacs mode is not really, you know, ready for all this stuff. Okay, so PHP trim string. Trim string. Trim string. So I don't have to do any of that shit. So it's gonna be trim. Okay, so because you have to provide any additional some shit. So use of undefined. Yeah. Okay, so it's not advanced, it's really dumb. It is very, very dumb. So you cannot have just like, you know, arbitrary expressions like in JavaScript, I think. I think you cannot have that. Yeah, it's very dumb. Alright, I was hoping that it would be like a little bit more like advanced, but it's a really dumb language apparently. So, how do you do string concatenation? PHP string concatenation. Why would does variable declaration make sense in an interpreted language? It does make sense. Look up JavaScript strict mode, Perl strict mode, just Google up and read more about that. Okay, so it's a dot. Alright. Okay, so and then here we can do something like op 0, and then we can do trim. Okay, so that seems to be working, and so op let's call it name, I suppose. And do we have switch cases? I remember we had some sort of switch cases, PHP switch cases. It's the same as in C, okay. Does it work with strings? Because, I mean, you never know. Okay, it does. It's a very dumb and old language. You never know what it supports or doesn't support. Right. To be fair, in our case, it's not really gonna work well, right? So, but we have like two situations, right? It's gonna be a name. Like, I'm gonna assume that I have to use triple equals, right? Because it's PHP or whatever. And we're gonna have mask, right? So otherwise, it's gonna be a memory. So here is the set mask. Set memory. Right, so that's basically what we're doing here. And every time we set the mask, so here's the name, and the value is going to be essentially trim op1, right? Trim op1. So when we set the mask, I just set the value of that thing. When we set the memory, it's going to be a completely different situation. I think it's going to be a completely different situation. And one of the things I can do here is I want to just print the mask and see, you know, if it actually gets updated and stuff like that, and semicolon. And yeah, there we go. So we set the mask, and on each individual operation, the mask was that. Okay, cool. So now we need to get into parsing. Let's actually put something on that. Set mask to that. Okay. So now we need to parse the memory assignment, right? We need to parse the memory assignment. So we need to split. Well, maybe not split, but do we have regular expressions, by the way? Maybe we can just do regular expressions. To be fair, regular expression is just usually pain in the ass. Whatever. So I'm gonna take a mem, and so here's the name. To be fair, look, mem number. The position at which the number starts is always the same no matter what the number is. So what we need to do, we just need to take a slice that starts from here and has a size of the size of the whole string -5. You don't need any of the fancy shit. Literally, you just need to have like take a substring, and substring is actually well defined because this prefix and this suffix are always the same. You don't need any of the shit. God fucking damn it. Okay, so again, slices. Let me close all of this shit. It's just too much. Okay, PHP to slice. So slice should be enough for everyone. Oh, it's an array slice. We need a substring. God fucking damn it, mate. Alright, so what does it take? It takes a start and takes a length. Okay, so what that means is that it's going to be substring, sub-str. We provide the name. It's going to start with what? Mem, like this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, starts at 4, and the length is going to be strlen of the name minus, so here's the 4 characters, -5, there we go, and that should give us the address, right? The address, and this is where we can do something like this, to do assign value to assign value to address, and let's see if that's gonna do the trick. Let's see if it's gonna do the trick. And there we go. We managed to do that. Yeah, see, assign value that to address, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we managed to parse that quite successfully. No regular expressions are required, no splitting or anything. You just literally have to take substring. It's really well defined. Don't worry about it. Okay. So. Thank you, Brain Dancer, too. Thank you. Okay, what do we have? So let me see. How are we gonna do all of that? Do I want to straight up do bit-wise operations? I feel like I need to go towards bit-wise operations because later I'll need them anyway. Right, I'll definitely need them anyway. And also I need some sort of a hash map or associative array. So PHP hash map, is that a thing in PHP? Okay, so what's the size of the memory though? Okay, as if I approaches the seaport, the captain asks, okay, the current bit mask. The program starts by specifying the bit mask. Initially ferry. Okay, I have a feeling that the size of the memory is not really known. I don't think it's very known. Because of that, we'll need a hash map. So maybe hash table. Like, do you have anything like hash table in PHP? Hash table. Really? What the hell is that? Versus associative arrays. You can just do something like that, but how efficient it is using associative array as a... Okay, cool. But how efficient this is? Is it efficient enough? Like when you have like arbitrary keys, does it use like internal hash table to that? Or what does it use? Does it use tree? What's the complexity of this data structure? If I put array, what's the complexity of it, of basic operations? Insert, lookup, and so on and so forth. What's that? What's the complexity of it? What's the complexity of it? Value member address are both... Okay, so that makes sense. That means the size... Yeah, the size can be quite huge. So 2 to the power 65, yeah. Alright, so... yeah... Let's actually do a PHP array complexity. So I just want to know the complexity. Time space complexity of PHP arrays. Okay, that's actually a good question. This is exactly what I'm asking. Because it acts like hash table, you will have one... if you're looping through array naturally... Okay, so it's literally hash table. So the array... an array is basically ordered map. So it's literally hash table. That's exactly what I was asking. So yeah. Google proved to be more useful than chat yet again. Okay, cool. Now, what do we have? So we're gonna have memory, right? So memory is initially gonna be, let's call it memory. Okay, cool. Thinking hash table read is O of 1. I mean, maybe they were lazy to add another word, you know. It's actually quite a lot of typing to type amortized, you know, so they just wanted to save some time and whatever. We know that it's not really O of 1, it's amortized. Okay. Thank God that Google works today. I don't think so. Yesterday, when Google went down, I had huge amount of views because people didn't have YouTube, so they actually flocked into Twitch, and I had like 300 views. I kind of wish, like, when I'm streaming, Google went down a little bit more often. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. What's up, Makoto, by the way? Hello. Okay. So here is the address. By the way, if you have, I remember PHP has a special flag for becoming a REPL. Does anybody remember, like, there is like a special flag for, you pass it to PHP and becomes a REPL. Or maybe it was something about Perl, I don't remember. But maybe it doesn't matter. So one of the things I can do, I can just do something like access array. This is not how to do that. Array, right? And then if I try to echo access your mom, right? So I just want to see what's going to happen if you try to query something that doesn't exist. Fuck, I'm sorry. This is not what I meant. Okay, whatever. All right. Your future. Right. So let's actually try to query something that doesn't exist. PHP minus A. Okay, so yeah, and I think that's the end, and that didn't really print anything. PHP minus A. Oh, that's cool. I really like that. Thank you. So it's gonna be array, and if I try to do something, I think you also have to print that for it to do something. Okay. And undefined index. Okay, it throws an exception. Perfect. That's actually pretty cool. What's up, Wilkins? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. So let me see. We have everything to start doing things, right? We have everything to start doing things. But the problem is, I need to have a special mask. So I need to think how to separate all of this, right? So essentially, this particular mask really defines two masks, right? It really defines two masks. It really defines two masks. So the first one just leaves all of these elements as it is, right? It leaves all of the elements as it is. The second one forces these elements to be set, right? It forces these elements to be set. So how can I split them? Well, I think I know how I can split them. So this one, so we need a special mask where x's are ones and not x's are zeros, right? And what we'll do here, I will do AND on them, and that will, you know, do the trick that we want. And the second mask defines like x's as zeros, x's as zeros, and not x's as their corresponding values, and you will do an OR mask with that. So we'll probably need some special functions, right? Some special functions. The first one will define as the access mask, right? The X is the one that lets the values through. The transparent, like, how are we gonna call it? So access mask. Let's literally call it access masks, right? Mask string. So this is a mask string. And another one is going to be actually set mask, the one that actually forces the values to be the values that they need to be. So here's the mask string. All right. So as far as I know, PHP does support bitwise operations, right? Bitwise operations. Yeah. Bitwise operators. Okay, that's cool. We have that. So, and I need to iterate the string. PHP, is there, like, can I use for each to iterate the string? For each string, is that a thing I can do? Split the string into array for each character. Okay. Does for each work for this kind of stuff? Well, I mean, this could be a plan B, but it would be nice to like just use for each on the strings. So here's the array. Whatever, I'm gonna use the plan B then. I'm gonna just use like the regular thing here, it doesn't matter. Right, okay, so we're gonna have a result, and the result is initially 0, right? The result is initially 0. So what we're doing here, we're iterating starting from 0 up until n, where n is the length of this thing. The length of this thing, and we're gonna do plus I. So this is how we're gonna approach all of that. And by the way, you access them like that. Okay, cool. So, and if mask stri equal x, this thing has to be 1. So what essentially we are doing, right? We are doing result. We're shifting everything by 1 bit, right? Shifting everything by 1 bit, and adding a new bit into the current one, right? If it's something else, it has to be 0. There we go. So this is the first like access mask, right? X's become ones, non-X's become zeros, right? Non-X's become zeros. So the set mask, the one that sets everything, is going to be slightly different, as already described, right? I usually never do bitwise operations and learn something new. This is probably you don't do low-level programming or something like that, like in C. Try developing, you know, drivers for Linux or for Windows. There's a lot of this kind of stuff there. Okay, so let's continue. For I0 plus I, and if mask str equal x, right? X, we're gonna set x to be what? To be 0, right? It has to be 0. So let me go here, right? I mean, let me go here, and then I'm gonna go here. Holy shit, I'm falling asleep right now, really. So the whole day, for some reason, I was falling asleep. Is there something else if or a leaf? Probably has to do else if, whatever. So I'll probably have to make like a stop at some point and make another cup of tea, because holy shit, I'm so sleepy right now. So if this is 1, this thing is gonna be 1. You know, I think we can do the following thing. I think if it is 1, right? And we're gonna say that it's gonna be like 0. Okay, so, and after that we have to just return, right? Just have to return. All right. So I was about to say, let's see if it compiles. I mean, obviously it doesn't compile because it's not a compiled programming language. So in here, every time you set a mask, so you have to do something like, yeah, I want to call this thing X mask. So let's call it make X mask. You should bitwise. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much. I should bitwise it. Whatever. This one is going to be S mask. This is S mask. Oh, holy shit! I'm falling asleep. Okay. So, and in here, instead of this mask, we're gonna have what? Something like this, right? And every time you set the mask, you do X mask, make X mask, Oh, it has to be name. It has to be name. The same shit goes for the S mask. So we have at least 2 masks here, right? And there we go. We just set everything appropriately. Yeah, I'm doing that for visual consistency. I already explained that multiple times, and that's why I'm not acknowledging any of this stuff. I've saw like everybody saying that, it's useless. I already talked about it. I'm tired of talking about it. Okay, so let me see. So there's an X mask and S mask, and we have to be a little bit careful. I'm not sure. So here we get beats, right? When yeah. So these things are beats, or is it? God damn it! Why are they debating me? So the creator intentionally like choose an examples that look like binary to like, seriously, do you really that desperate that you need to come up with these kind of tricks to make the problem difficult? Anyway, so whatever. So here's an address, and check PHP, check if array contains key, right? Check if array contains key. Array key exists. Nice. Okay. So I really like that they provide examples. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool that they provide examples. Nice. If array key exists, actually doesn't exist, right? If array key doesn't exist, what key? The key has to be address. Oh, by the way, PHP string to integer. I know that PHP like coerces things all the time, but I want to be explicit about that anyway. So get integer value of a variable. All right, so chat is shut and shut equals dead. Well, I mean, I don't know why chat is dead. Probably because I was ignoring their bike shedding and backseating, which is absolutely useless. Right, if anybody said anything useful, maybe I would actually acknowledge that, but nobody so far has said anything useful. Except maybe about the fact that I need to use OR here. So yeah, I'm sorry. It is what it is. The quality of chat is really low today. Okay, so this has to be int val, right? This is int val. And we're gonna have another value here, which is, it's already a value if you think about it. So this is an address. Let's call this argument. Yeah, this has to be argument, and that means here we'll have to do something like argument, and a value is gonna be int val argument. So here's the address and here's the value, and this is how we try to do that. So if key exists, right, so essentially I'm gonna just use address. Come on. So, and the array, which is the memory, and if it doesn't exist, one of the things I have to do here is this, basically initialize it with 0, right? So I'm initializing it with 0. What's up, Droker87? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Okay, so how do we set this thing? All right, so let me try. Maybe we don't even need to. Yeah, we don't need to initialize it because we never actually modify it. Okay, so that's fine. So this is how it has to be. Address. Then we take a value. Okay, so we're gonna start with the X mask, right? So with the X mask, where every X is 1, what we're essentially doing, we're just doing end X mask. Cool. And it has to be like that. After that, we let everything through, right? We let everything through. And now we need to set the corresponding values to something else. So only ones are 1, and that means I'll have to do this something like s mask. And I guess that's it. That's the whole solution. That's the whole first part 1 solution, hopefully. So afterwards, we'll have to sum everything up. Okay, let's do function part 1, and I'm gonna put this entire thing. Yeah, let's call it part 1 here. Use the part 1, and in here we're gonna have a function solve file, right? It's gonna be file path, and it's gonna be, where is the echo solve file, and echo part 1 part 1 file path, there we go, and part 1 is going to return something. Okay, so I need to take a look at the examples for each in PHP, because I do remember, yeah, so you can actually do associative things, right? You can do associative things, but how can you iterate over values? How can you iterate on the values? Let me try. Essentially, if I have something like array full bar, right? So, and it couldn't parse anything, because why? Because I put this thing. So, and then I'm gonna try to do something like this. X is as X, and it's gonna be echo new line. Okay, it does iterate over values. That's actually super nice. That's actually super nice, which means that I can do something like this. For each, let's put it, let's call it byte, right? Memory as byte. And we're gonna do result plus equal byte, and we're gonna return the result, and we'll see what's gonna happen. So, yep, I think that's the solution, believe it or not. I think that's the solution. Not trying to be useful, chat, you're useless. Trying to be useful, step backseat. Exactly, you cannot win. You cannot win on my channel. All right. So let's see if it's gonna work or not. Okay, and I wish it. Yeah, Emacs cannot parse all of that. It can only tell me the number of the line. 41. Arga. Okay, 55. Yep. 165. Would you look at that? I first tried the sample, and it is in fact 165. Got cooler, by the way. And I don't program in PHP. I know nothing about PHP, as you can see. But we need to now do the input. Okay, now we need to do the input. I'm kind of scared. Maybe I actually copy-pasted properly, so I'm gonna do it like that. I'm gonna get the input one more time. Right, one more time, just in case. Copy-paste it, put it here, save it. Yeah, it also added the new line there, and I'm gonna add the input txt there, and there we go. So this is the final. Well, it is something for sure. It is something. I keep forgetting the new line though. I keep forgetting the new line. Yep. I hope that's the result. I think. I'm not sure, but it looks kind of promising, not gonna lie. And first try, motherfucker, in PHP. That's right. I really didn't look into neither PHP nor the problem before the stream. Seriously, that makes me super proud of myself. I mean, that basically shows you that all of the languages are the same shit anyway. So I don't understand why people fight over what's the best language. They are the same shit ever anyway. Like, they have the same constructions, right? So in all of these stupid languages, you have for loops, procedures, print functions, if, variables, it's the same shit. Stop fighting over the languages. They're the same shit. Anyway, so that's cool. So we solved part 1, and I suppose I need to prepare lube for the part 2. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, so let me make a cup of tea, because I really need a cup of tea, because I'm super sleepy right now. Like, holy shit, I'm super sleepy. So, okay. All right, does anyone have any questions, Shut, while I'm making a cup of tea? Right, so feel free to tell me everything you think about me without being worried to be banned, and I'm gonna read that. But of course, I mean, you have to follow the Twitch2S. If you say something like against Twitch2S, I won't be able to, well, you won't be able to continue chatting in that channel, right? So yeah, ask any question, tell me anything you think about me. You are a poopy head. Thank you for the compliment. So, I'm drinking Earl Grey, by the way. I'm drinking Earl Grey. If anyone is interested, by the way. By the way. The if-else can be branchless. Yes, it was. I do love the way you show every single day that language doesn't even matter and we're all bad. No, I don't think that all of you are bad. I don't even know all of you, to be fair. So I cannot make any of such judgments. You're sexy. My sexy what? It triggers me that you don't clean up the leaves from the press. I don't have time for that. I do clean them up when I'm not streaming, okay? So I swear I do clean them up, but when I'm streaming, I just don't have time to do that. So that's why I don't do that. All right. Does anyone have any other questions while I'm making a cup of tea? PHP is the most paid language, by the way. Yeah, probably, because there's a lot of shit to maintain in it, and nobody wants to maintain it, unless you pay them really well. Why can't I get the control thing in Emacs? Can you explain it to me? The control thing in Emacs? Well, you just take your keyboard, right? You locate control. In the majority of the keyboards, the control is located in the left bottom part of the keyboard. Right, but it depends on the keyboard. So you locate it, you take your left hand pinky and you press it and you hold it. That's how you get it. Okay, that's how you do control while using Emacs. It's actually quite simple. It could be hard at first, right? It would be hard at first. And again, you may not have pinky. I mean, people have different kind of situations in their life. So you'll have to probably train in that case to use a different finger. But eventually you will be able to get the control in Emacs. So I believe in you. Anyway, so I'm gonna actually turn on my kettle. I'm actually gonna turn on my kettle and just, you know, a couple of seconds. I came. Hello. How everyone is fucking doing? Welcome back. Okay. Are we ready for part 2? Is that still part? Okay, here's the part 2. Yeah. So I think. Why did I have? Okay, that's very strange. The first half of the completely provides one goal to serve. Okay. Okay, cool. Alright. For some reason, the Seaport's computer system still can't communicate with the Ferris docking program. Why this particular combination of words is so fucking amusing? Like, listen to that. Ferris docking program. Like, it's fucking... Okay. It must be used in version 2 of the decoder chip. Okay. The neighbors, whenever Mr. Streamer does this I came joke, they don't speak English, don't worry about it. A version 2 decoder chip doesn't modify the values being written at all. Instead, it acts as a memory address decoder. Chip doesn't modify the values being written at all. Instead, it acts as a memory address decoder. Okay, let me take a look. What the fuck is this? I might as well actually close majority of the shit. I think they're just thinking that I'm drunk or something, and I'm speaking, you know, some gibberish that is not. What the hell is that? Why is that a video? Okay, whatever. Immediately before a value is written to memory, each bit in the bit mask modifies the corresponding bit of the destination memory address in the following way. If the bit mask bit is 0, the corresponding memory address bit is unchanged. If the bit mask bit is 1, the corresponding memory address bit is overwritten with 1. If the bit mask bit is X, the corresponding memory address is floating. Okay. A floating bit is not connected to anything and instead fluctuates unpredictably. Ooh. Okay. In practice, this means the floating bit will take on all possible values, potentially causing many memory addresses to be written all at once. Is this a quantum computer? I think that's what it is. Okay, for example, consider the following program. Okay, so you have this shit. Okay, so this could be a second sample, right? So we'll need to rename this thing to like sample that, and this one is gonna be the second sample. And I'm gonna just copy paste this thing there. Just copy paste there. And in the makefile, we're gonna have sample 01 and sample for fuck's sake 02txt. If the bit mask bit is does the bit mask bit do a god damn it, this Inur, that was actually pretty epic. I don't know what that means, but anyway. Okay. Floating bit is not connected to anything and instead fluctuates unpredictably, and in practice this means the floating bit will take on all possible values, potentially causing many memory addresses to be written all at once. For example, consider the following program. Okay, so it says that blah 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 blah. When the program goes to write to memory 42, it first applies the bit mask. Okay. Here's the address. Oh, I see. I see what this shit means. Okay. So it takes the address, it applies the mask to the address. Okay, after applying the mask, 4 bits are overwritten, 3 of which are different and 2 of which are floating. Floating bits take on every possible combination of values. With 2 floating bits, 4 actual memory addresses are written. Holy shit, okay, I see what they... alright. So that means you cannot directly, you know, simulate all of that, that's for sure. After applying the mask, 4 bits are overwritten, through which, okay, floating bits, okay. And this is basically what it, yeah. Next, the program is about to write a memory address 26 with different bit masks. Okay, I think my tea is ready. So I'm gonna quickly just pour a cup of tea and go back to try to solve this shit. I'm back. Champion. How everyone is doing? Cool gaming chair, thank you. So 8 memory addresses. The result is an address with 3 floating bits causing write to 8 memory addresses. Okay, so the entire 36-bit address space still begins initialized to the value 0 at every address, and you still need to need the sum of all values left in the memory. In this example, the sum is 208. Execute the initialization program using an emulator for version 0. Version 2, version 0. Again, I'm super sleepy. What is the sum of values left in the memory after it completes? Holy shit, okay. So we probably cannot simulate that shit directly anymore. That's very interesting. So each individual mask defines a range, actually. Right, so you have writes that define a particular range. Right. They define particular ranges and what kind of things they set. All right. So I haven't sipped my tea yet, so my brain is not really working at full speed yet. But maybe we can do. So you can think about each individual address for the second part as basically the range, right? Basically the range. Right, because that's exactly what they defined. So this is the range, and it also have associated value with it, right? So it has x1, the value that it writes there, then this thing, and maybe this thing, and so on and so forth. It feels like we need some sort of like a segment tree or something. That's what it feels like, right? So, and essentially, you want to sort them by their lower like elements here, right? And that means you know the range within which you have to start looking for the values, right? You start looking for the values. All right. But you also have a lot of interesting things like that overwrite like this, so you also have to be a little bit careful with that, right? A little bit careful with that. So you start iterating from here, and you find the next one, right? So that means the result will contain the sum of all these values between this range. Okay, so then you need to find another point here. But you also have to be careful with the ends as well, right? You have to be careful with the ends as well. I see. I think I kind of see what needs to be done here, right? What needs to be done here. Sendura streamer is ignoring us. Who I should ignore? I'm thinking about the solution. That's what I'm doing. So I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, that's why I'm not really reacting too much. So okay. So it's kind of interesting because I remember from the competitive programming days there were always like these segment tree data structures, which actually help you to query these kind of things. Segment tree, yeah, I think that's what it does. So we can find some. Yeah, there you go. So you have a bunch of segments here, and what kind of operations you can do there? So what kind of operations? In computer science, also known as a statistics tree, is a tree for storing information about intervals or segments. It allows querying which of the stored segments contain a given point. Right. It is in principle a static structure. That is, it is a structure that cannot be modified once it's built. A similar structure is an interval tree. Okay. It's also similar to that. Interval tree. Yeah. Yeah. But essentially what we need to do, we need to travel between these points, right? We need to travel between these points, and between them always just see who's the latest one, right? Who's the latest one there. And the latest one is going to be the value that we need to add up to the final result. So, and the question is, how can you even do that efficiently? Well, that's a good question. We need to explore that. One of the things we can do, we can just try to simulate that process, collecting all of the intervals, and then we can try to output how many intervals we've got, right? How many intervals we've got, and based on that, we can try to come up with you know, reasonable solution, whether to use data structure or maybe brute force that, not brute force, but you know, use some linear algorithms and stuff like that. So I think we need a little bit more information about what kind of data we're working with, right? So I think it does make sense. So I'm gonna pour a cup of tea, and I'm gonna make a small break because I really need to pee for some reason. All of a sudden, yeah. Oh, god damn it. Okay. So. Yes, I'm gonna go take my phone and I'm gonna Google the solution on the phone in the toilet while nobody's seeing. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yes, and that's exactly. I need to go pee all of a sudden. I think I don't need 3 minutes actually. I think I can Google up the solution in 2 minutes. So I'm a speedrun Googler. All right. So let's make a small break and you guys have fun. Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Epic Champions of Advent of Code Arena. Are you ready? Hello, some random dev 69. Welcome to the stream. All right. So let's introduce part 2. How about that? How about that? I don't really have enough space on my desk. Okay. Here it is, and we're gonna have something like this. So part 2. File path. I'm gonna copy paste some code from there. So this is how we read the lines. I might as well read those lines, you know, outside, but maybe it doesn't really matter that much. If you think about that, So here are the lines, and here we are iterating the lines, right? Cool. And what's going to be our memory? So we need to store the sequence of segments, right? So this is what we need to do. We need to store the sequence of segments. Does PHP have anything like structures, structs, or something like records, struct data type in PHP? Is it possible, or do we use the arrays? Do you use the arrays? You can have a class. It's not particularly convenient to initialize. Okay, so you can use just arrays. I think I can live with that, right? I think I can live with that. Or with the standard object std class. Oh, right. Nice. PHP 8 has unions. I have PHP 7. Did you know that? Like, cool. I'm glad that PHP 8 has that, but I have PHP 7, so your comment is not useful. So, all right, we're gonna use that. Now, what do we have? Consider the following program. If the bit mask is 0, the corresponding memory address bit is unchanged. If it's 0, it's unchanged. Overwritten with 1, and it's floating. This one is very interesting. So that means we need to have like an X mask. So the X mask already sets all of the X's to 1, which is exactly what we need. Right, which is exactly what we need. In case of the S mask, right, it sets it to 0. So essentially, we can still use both of these functions for the part 2. I think we can. I do think so. Yeah. So, and essentially, the lower part of this thing is going to be setting all of these things to 1. Okay, I think we can work with that. How would I know what version you have? By watching the stream from the beginning. That's how we know that. All right. So let's continue. So this is how we parse everything. Could you append 7 to your title so chatters will ignore it and ask you anyway? Yeah, so that's how it usually happens. So this is where we set everything. So this is how we fucking set everything. So here's the mask, and I can copy paste some of this stuff. It's pretty warm today, to be fair. I don't know why, and this is probably why I feel so sleepy, because it's been like around -20 like the whole week, and all of a sudden it became like that, and so it's very warm. It's very warm today. Hello, apparently potatoes. Welcome to the stream. And here is the address, and here is the value. but we'll have to set all of that stuff slightly differently, right? We'll have to set it slightly differently. So again, smask, right? 0 means unchanged, 0 means unchanged, 1 means replace with 1, which means that we take our address and we do or smask, right? Or smasks, because this is exactly what's going to happen. So 0 is going to stay unchanged, and 1 will always set to 1. Okay, so this is what we've got. So this is our primary thing, and now what all we need to do is calculate the lower range of the address and higher range of the address. Higher range of the address. So I know how to calculate the higher range of the address. It's actually pretty straightforward. So you essentially do or xmask, because x is already filled with ones. That means all of the ones in x are already going to be the higher range. Okay, so but now we need to find the low part. Low part is going to be very similar to that. So this is the address. This is the address, and what's funny is that no, there's nothing funny about it. We can try to negate xmask. So yeah, we can try to negate xmask and take and it's actually do or maybe not. So we need to make ones. So I would presume that this is how we can do that. There we go. So this is low and high addresses that you can have. Low and high addresses. And yeah, so this is a segment. So here's your segment. The value that you have to set and the range, the low range and the high range. The low range and the higher range. So now I'll have to add all of that shit to the memory. So our memory is going to be something like this. Is going to be just a regular array. Just a regular array. And how do I push to array? So PHP push to array or append to array. Hello JV Catholic. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Welcome. Welcome to the streamers. I'm sorry. So array push treats array as a stack and pushes the element variable onto the end of the stack. The length of the array increases, blah blah blah. Has the same effect as... Oh, that's actually pretty cool. So you can have like a special syntax for appending things. So that means I can do something like memory, and I'm appending a new array where I have a value equal to value. So then low equal to low and high equal to high. So there we go. Essentially what I'm constructing here is list of segments, right? I'm constructing the list of segments, and that's basically what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna have like a temporary value here. And yeah, let's do the following thing. Echo amount of segments. What was the length of the array? PHP array length. Count. It's a count, not array length though. It's just a count. Okay, cool. Amount of segments. Count. Mem. Weather function. Why are you so cold? Yeah, length, size, count. Goddamn. Languages just cannot fucking agree on anything. Okay, so that's cool. We have sample. Amount of segments is 3. I think we have too many samples, to be fair. I want to decrease the amount of samples for now, so it's just a little bit easier for me to read. Right. So yeah, you have three segments for this one. Well, I mean, you have 3. Essentially, how many assignments you have, that's the amount of segments you have anyway. Right, so I don't know what I expect. I don't know what did I expect. But in any case, the next thing I want to do, I want to iterate all of the segments. So for each mem as segment, right, we're going to print their values. We're going to print their values, and it's going to be something like echo to the print r. What is print r? Print r. What the fuck is print r? Trying to debate me into something, I know that. Human readable information about the variable. Okay, so let's see if it's gonna print something there. But if you're trying to debate me, okay? If you're trying to debate me, I'm gonna ban you straight up. Okay, cool. So it does. Yeah, so essentially it passes sanity check. So the low is less than high, and this is pretty much like exactly what I expected here. Right, and again, so the sample 0 is not really useful because it's designed for the part 1. What we want to have instead here is sample 2. And that gives us the, it gives us a little bit sane results. Specifically, you have two ranges here, and let's see if they do make sense. Do they make sense? It's from 26, 27, 58. 26, 58. God damn. Shit. Yeah, they're not continuous. That's the problem. They're not continuous. Oh, shit. Okay. They're not continuous. I mean, yeah. But it calculated the ends correctly, at least, right? It calculated the ends correctly. Calculated the ends correctly. Alright, so that makes a little bit more sense. How about input.txt? Let's take a look at the input.txt now. Alright. So this is the actual input that we have here. Right. And what are the differences between the... to be fair, by the way, do they have a regular step? They don't even have a regular step. That's what's funny about it. They don't even have a regular step. So one of the things to iterate through all of these elements is going to be counting the amount of ones in the X mask, right? And deriving like 2 to the power of that elements, and then iterating all of that, and then using the mask to generate all of that. So it's not particularly convenient. To be fair, like it defines like several segments. It still defines continuous segments. If you look at it, it still defines continuous segments, and continuous segments are essentially defined by continuous ones or continuous floating bits, right? So that's basically what it is. But yeah. I think my initial idea here is not really gonna fly. So what I want you to see, I want to see how big of the differences between these things are. So I'm going to start iterating for each mem as a segment, right? This is what I want to see here. As segments, it's going to be echo. Yeah, we're going to just print the difference. It's going to be segment, high, segments minus low, right? So, and also we'll have to... Is there something like str value? Let me save that to x. And yeah, new line. So here are the regular usual differences. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Why are they so... They're pretty close and stuff. And I'm pretty sure you won't be able to iterate each individual address here, checking what they're equal to, because the ranges are so huge. Right. You'll have to be a little bit more careful in here. The time system still begins initialized to the value 0 turbo address. So I'm still thinking, what would be the best way to represent all of that? What would be the best way to represent all of that? As continuous addresses or not? Probably not, because there's a huge combinatorial problem here. Huge combinatorial problem here. So that means maybe the ranges idea is not particularly great. Alright. Wish I was less sleepy. Let me try to read that one more time. Maybe I'm gonna have a little bit more inspiration. So this is gonna be that. The bit 0 is unchanged, overwritten. The floating bit is not connected to anything, instead fluctuates unpredictably. In practice, this means it writes to all of them. Alright. So it's kind of interesting. Right. Maybe we can try to take the first write. Right, we can turn it into like the sequence of writes. We can turn it into the sequence of writes. So we can try to represent them. We can try to represent them as so the position is gonna be like so. So here's the value, here's the address, and here's that. And then I want to rename these two operations. So it's going to be ops, the actual ops that should do, right? So, and in here is going to be like this. So the ops that should do. So address, the initial address is going to be that. I just want to save all of that. I don't think low and high are particularly useful, so I'm not going to calculate them anymore. And I'm gonna store X mask that is used for this one, and also S mask. so S masks and X masks, and we'll need a value here as well. So here's the value. All right, so we probably want to start calculating at the lowest address. So we take the first operation, right? We take the first operation, and we probably want to see who overrides these values in the future, right? The corresponding values in the future. So specifically what we care about, who's gonna intersect? Yeah. Okay, so we take the first operation and we're curious who's gonna intersect with that operation. That's actually very interesting. Okay, print R, and I want to just take a look at this. Oops, I just want to see them. Maybe they can give me some ideas or something. So the Xmax, address, and so on and so forth. So we have that, and this could be the main sort of unit that we can use for different operations, like checking who intersects, right? Who intersects, and by how much, right? And what does intersecting even mean? Maybe intersecting mean that their floating mask intersects. So if we take two floating masks of two operations, two floating masks of two operations, and you AND them, you will find their intersecting thing. But also their address should be the same. Their address should be the same. Okay. They are intersecting if they have the same address. The same resulting address after applying that S thingy. And yeah, that is true. I think that's basically what it is, and maybe we can work off of that. So this is the first thing that they have, like intersection with floating mask and stuff. So this is just a reminder for myself. So the chat is dead again because I've been ignored. I'm really sorry that I'm ignoring the chat. The tasks in Advent of Code finally become difficult enough that I need to think about them, which is actually kind of good, because they were kind of boring up until, you know, the Dente. So all right, and also an interesting thing. So can we? How can we even calculate the sum for a particular operation, right? So sum for operation. So if you have a single operation, sum of a single operation, so the address, the floating mask, and the S mask, and the value, we want to sum it up. So I wonder how we can easily do that, right? So there's going to be OP here, right? There's going to be OP here, and let me think how we can do that. So essentially, doesn't really matter, I think. It doesn't really matter. So what we need to do here is the count amount of ones in the X mask, and take 2 to the power of that amount, and that's the amount we need to multiply the value by, right? So that's essentially what it is. And how can you count the amount of ones in the in a mask? Well, you can do that iteratively until the value becomes 0. Yeah, okay. So let's do something like count once, and we accept a mask here, right? So, and we'll see how it goes. So here is the result. Initially is going to be 0, while mask is greater than 0, right? While mask is greater than 0, if mask 1 equal 1, right? Result plus 1, and after that we'll have to do mask 1 like this. Okay, so this is how we count once here. Right, for sum for a single operation is going to be something like this. Right, you take x mask, which contains x's, you count once in that mask, and you take 2 to the power of that value. Okay, so PHP power, right, PHP power. So base, I'm gonna use that. It's probably not optimal, but I don't care. Power base, then that, and you multiply the value by that thing. Multiply the value by that thing. Okay. So after that, I want to actually print the first operation here. So here's the first operation. So what's funny, if we have only one operation, right? If we have only one operation, the specific address simply doesn't matter. That's what's interesting about it. The specific address doesn't matter. So, and if I try to do something like, what was that? Sum for operation, like the sum for operation, it is actually pretty huge, not gonna lie. So it is actually pretty huge. Probably this is how it should be, actually, right? Because the range is probably quite big as well. Quite big as well. But this is where we're starting to have. Yeah, if you only had like a one operation, right? If you only had one operation, this is how we would do that. Now, what if you have two operations, right? What if you have two operations? If they are not intersecting with each other, right? You can just take sums of those operations and just, you know, sum them up. But what if they are intersecting, right? What if they are intersecting? And this is where it becomes very interesting. How can we know that they are intersecting? So, their final addresses. Okay, I'm gonna create a function intersect. It's not gonna do anything. So it's gonna have operation 1 and operation 2. What's up, Valentin? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? This is not pops. Okay. Do we need to return in the sum for ops? I'm not really sure if we need to have the function sum for ops. I'm not developing the code, I'm exploring the problem. So, I don't know how to explain to you. This is not the final code, right? This is not the final code. I have a hypothesis about how to solve the problem, and I'm checking different hypotheses by writing some code and extracting some knowledge out of the system. And I probably will throw away half of that code. I don't know if we need to return something. I'm not really sure if we need half of this code. We probably don't. I don't know. That's the point. That's the whole point. So, all right. So, well, I'm definitely going to remove this function at the end of the stuff. So, or P1, right? They are, so imagine that they have intersecting floats. Okay, let me see. The example that they give here is, it is actually intersecting, which is actually kind of cool. So they demonstrate how this particular intersection may go. Right, they demonstrate how this particular intersection may go. So this is the final result. This is the final result. And here's another thing. And they do slightly intersect with each other. Look at them. So it was actually a little bit bigger than that. They do slightly intersect with each other, but they do intersect on this particular level. So this thing was written after that one. Right, this thing was written after that one. Forcing 100% is not going to work, even though we can try to do that. It's not going to work. Segments is not very useful as well, because a single operation introduces not a single segment but a sequence of a segment, so segments don't work either. So working on the level of single operations, so we know how to calculate the result for a single operation. We can try to calculate the result for the second operation. So how can we merge two operations? Again, if they do not intersect, it's relatively easy, right? So sum for two ops. Why am I reading chat? Like I should, when I'm thinking, I should definitely never read chat. Okay, so if they're not intersecting, like if they are not intersecting, it's actually quite trivial, right? So it's actually quite trivial. You essentially do sum for operation op1 plus sum. It's actually a single one. Right, it's actually a single one. op2. Right. And so, but what's the other way around? So if they do intersect, and how do we know that they do intersect? Right? How do we know that they do intersect? That's the real problem. For some reason, for my brain, it's not quite obvious how to know that they will do intersect. How do we know that they do? Okay, so here's the two masks. They do intersect. How do we know that? Well, they have some of the same bits here, right? So some of these bits here, and yeah, if you try to merge these things, right? So we're gonna assume that x can be merged into well, no, yeah, 1. So x is definitely gonna overwrite 0, x, see how, yeah, I think the key here is to know when they do intersect. How do we know that they do intersect? It's not obvious for me how to know that they do intersect. Okay, if knowing how they do intersect is really difficult, how can we know that they do not intersect? Like 100%. What could be the case when they do not intersect? Right. So one case could be is when you have something like this, right? And you have something like this, right? So essentially, their bits, their floating masks are the same, their floating masks are the same, and their not floating bits result in a completely different address. Is that how? I think that's a pretty, like, if you have something like that, these two masks 100% do not intersect. 100% do not intersect. Brute force totally works. Are you trying to debate me or something? I think you're trying to debate me. I don't believe you. By the way, who are you? Let me try to see. I've never seen you before, and you go into the chat and start trying to debate me or something. 3 messages so far. Nothing controversial so far yet. So I did brute force and can agree. Really? Not actually following what you're doing, but I didn't use any crazy tricks. I just generated all of the masks and applied them. Okay. How much memory did it consume? Really? Fucking really? Am I wasting my time? Excuse me, am I really wasting my time? For fuck's sake, it's... Why everything so far, after the... I think after 11th day, the problems are so unsatisfying. Why are they so unsatisfying? Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Really? If it's gonna fucking work, I'm not gonna solve any more advent of code anymore. So if brute forcing is gonna work right now, I'm stopping advent of code and never going back to it. For fuck's sake, you're fucking serious? I'm so mad. Are you fucking serious? I hate this so much. I fucking hate it. Like, this is so bad. Okay, let's brute force this then. I mean, if it's gonna work or something, whatever. I mean, I don't mind difficult problems, but at least like make it satisfying. This shit is not satisfying. You're basically debating me into thinking that it's not gonna brute force. Then I'm gonna waste my time, and then if I try to brute force, I'm gonna be really unsatisfied. Jesus Christ. I think maybe the guy just hates everyone, probably. But anyway. Okay, so here's what we have here. So we have these addresses, and we can just generate all of them. Yeah, so I actually removed count once. I think I should have not done that because some of these functions are really useful. So we still need count once. We still need count once because that's what we're going to generate anyway. Your solution plan looked really interesting though. Yeah, that's why I was pushing it, because I thought maybe there is an interesting idea behind all of that. Yeah, right? So like you have an operation and then intersection of operation is gonna be, you know, like another sum, and then you check all of the intersections of the operation and come up with something interesting, but apparently it's not that. Okay. Oh, by the way, Lazik, aren't you banned on my Discord? I think you're banned on my Discord. Why aren't you banned here? It's actually kind of interesting. Right. Okay. So let's continue. So essentially we have like an n, right, and we need to construct a new mask, a new floating mask. Right, I need a function that would accept the mask and the n, right, and it will reconstruct the corresponding mask, right, it will reconstruct the corresponding mask. So how can we do that? So the result. Oh, and you will have to reverse it. Right. Oh shit. Okay, so imagine that you have something like this, right? Right, and you have a number. Okay, so and you need to construct the result. Right, you need to construct the result. So you extract x. So and then you put it like that, and then you want to reverse the bits, right? So you want to reverse the bits. Shit. You want to reverse the bits. Don't quite want to do any of this stuff. But so here's the I. It may accept I, the current number, and it also may accept n, basically the amount of bits in this mask. But maybe it shouldn't do that because we do know the amount of bits there. Yeah, we do know the amount of bits there. Okay, so here's what we do. So here's the result, and while x mask is greater than 0, right, if x mask 1 equal 1, right, what do? We take the result, result 1. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Okay, let me see, and then it's gonna be 1, right, if it's that. Ah, shit, this is not what we want. We actually want to spread the bits of I, to the bits of mask. Yeah, oh shit, I'm so mulled. I can't think straight anymore. And you know what's worse? Is that brute force implementation takes some time, right? It takes some time, and this is the path that you have to pursue, right? And if at the end of that path I will find out that brute forcing doesn't work, I'm gonna be even more mad, and I know that, and that kind of prevents me from going that path. Like, is it worth like putting your time and effort into that if there is a probability that it's not gonna work and you're gonna be mad anyway? So maybe it's better to think about a better solution. I don't fucking know, because okay. So let's fucking do that. So essentially, I need to take the bits of I and spread them across the bits of mask, right? That's what I need to do essentially. So here's going to be the result. Damn it, just brute force it. What do you think the fuck I'm doing here? I think I'm starting to understand why the fuck you're banned in Discord. Alright. Okay, let's continue. So until I is greater than 0. So essentially, if you have something like this, right, and you have just a number 1101, essentially what you have to do, you have to spread them over like these bits. You have to spread them over these bits. And you can think of it like that. So if x mask 1 equal 1, actually let's start with 0. I want to start with 0. If it's equal to 0, that means we have to do x mask, we have to skip it completely. We have to skip it completely, so it has to be that, and the result has to be skipped in that direction, right? So we're increasing that in that direction, right? To be fair, result has to be, you know, yeah, and then we'll have to do that anyway here. Okay, so we only care about this thing here. So if we found one of these things here, that means we'll have to take a result I 1, right, and after that I like this. So, and that basically spreads the elements across. It spreads the elements across. But what's funny is that the result is going to be inverted. That's the problem here. The result is going to be inverted. Okay, and that's the interesting part of it. The result is going to be inverted. Maybe instead of doing this, we have to just basically do 36 times. How about that? So 36 times, and this is essentially what I want to try to do. So this is going to be just x, and of course this is the x, and I want to try to do something like this. Okay, so 36 times is going to be 0, 36 times plus I. Alright, so that sort of spreads it across, which is cool, and after that we can try to reverse it, I suppose. I can try to reverse it. So this is the result. Row. This is a row result. Maybe we can call it like a reversed result. Right? The bits here are going to be reversed, and then we can have the actual result here, where we can repeat that. Right, 36. It's a really dumb way of doing that, but I don't care. Result is going to be result and reverse 1, reverse result, reverse. So that will invert all of that, and that will give us this final result, right? The final result. cool. Now, let me, I really want to call this thing somehow, but I have no idea how to call this. Spread X mask. So this is how we can call it. We're going to call it spread X mask. Next thing I want to do, I want to just test how this entire stuff will work. How can we even test that? Well, so let's imagine mask 1010, right? This is the X mask. And what's the value of that? 1, 2, 4, 8. Right, so this is going to be 2, this is going to be 8, and the value of this thing is 10. Right, so this is a value 10. Right, if I remember correctly. So if I take a look at the binary of this thing, it is 10 in fact. So the mask can be 10. All right, so the mask can be 10. And I want to spread X mask. So this is, by the way, do I have a binary literals in PHP? PHP binary literals. Is that even a thing? Is that even a thing? Integers. Prefix for binary literals. Binary literals. So can oh shit, you can do that. That's actually super cool. I don't have to, you know, waste time on any of this stuff. Cool, 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 cool. So and then I can, yeah, PHP decimal to binary. Deck bin. Okay, let's see. So we can start by starting something like this. It's going to be from 0 to 2, maybe 4. Yeah, it has to be like 4. And then what do? I spread the mask on that. Right, I spread the mask on that, and then I do echo. I do echo, and I just want to see what's gonna happen. So deck bin, is it? Yeah, it is called deck bin. And let's just print like a new line here. Okay, so and after that I want to die. I always want to die, but today especially. Undefined variable result in 78. Undefined variable result in 78 because this is a reversed result. Right, it's a reversed result. Okay, so that's bad. That didn't do shit. That's really bad. That means I made a mistake somewhere here. I wonder where exactly I made a mistake. I wonder where I made a mistake. So I'm iterating 36 times, right? So reverse result is that, right? If the current X mask is 1, actually it has to be 1. Yes, I found the error pretty quickly, but that didn't help. All right, so if it is 1, I'm adding to the reverse result this thing, and I'm also decreasing the X, and I'm also decreasing the mask as well. I'm always decreasing the mask actually. All right, so what if I just return the reversed result? Maybe that's gonna help. Why is that the same? Why is it not increasing? Okay, it is doing. Okay, so it is doing something. Yeah. So initially it's 0, then that. Then I would expect this thing to be set to 1, but it's not really set to 1. It's not doing anything. What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? I missed something very important. I don't know what I missed. What did I miss? What did I miss? Okay, I'm iterating 36 times. If the mask has the bit set. If the mask has the bit set. If the mask doesn't have the bit set, where I don't see the mistake. Why? Where is the mistake? I literally don't see it. It's something extremely dumb as usual. It's something extremely dumb. No. They don't have to be the same. They shouldn't be the same. They shouldn't be the same. Why they're the same? Okay. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts as usual. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that makes sense. Full of shit. I'm telling you, like, I'm so mold. So dumb. Thank you so much. Oh. I'm just very mad that you can just do brute force here. Like, I'm super mad. Yeah, there we go. Like, seriously? It's so unsatisfying. Holy shit. Okay, so you can spread the mask now. Cool. So instead of operations here, we might as well actually have a memory or something. And also gonna be alright. So here's the X mask, here's something else, whatever. No. And of course after that, we may have something like result, iterating through all of the elements here. So this is going to be a byte, actually memory as byte, right, as byte, and then you can do plus byte. Okay, so this is the final thing, and I need to implement this setting this entire stuff, right, setting this entire stuff. Okay, what we need to do, we need to take the address, so actually the effective address, so E address. Then I merge it with the S mask, and yeah, so that's the effective address essentially. That's the effective address. Okay, that makes sense. Now I need to calculate the amount of ones in the X mask. As a matter of fact, I think I can do that somewhere here, right? So every time we calculate the X mask, I can do count once in the X mask, right? And then do this thing to the power of n. So then later I can iterate through the n, right? I can iterate through the n, where I'm gonna do for I equal 0 less than n, right? Less than n, and this is where we can spread the mask, spread X mask. So I provide the X mask and this I, and since in spread mask function it is called X, I can just I want to call it X as well. Okay, we spread that mask. So essentially we're iterating through all of these addresses, right? This is basically what we're iterating. So this one could be something like base address. Yeah. So here's the spread mask, and I'm not sure. So E address that, and then we take memory of it. And we set the value. And I'm not sure if I, you know, Okay, let me take a look. So this is going to be a make file, and we're going to test that on a sample too. Right, we're going to test that. Okay. Use of undefined on 116. So what is undefined there? Excuse me. Value. Yeah. Part 2 101, which is not correct if I remember correctly, right? It's too. Yeah. Executing C# program using the emulator for what is the sum of all values? Yeah, this is not correct. I made a mistake somewhere. We might as well. So how many? Yeah, we only have 2 assignments here, which is great. So that means we can try to print the addresses there, right? So let me try to do something like this. Let me print the address. And it's going to be a new thing here. And that was weird, not gonna lie. Like, why was it like that? 5826. That's a very low amount of addresses, not gonna lie. So what about echo? Echo n. I just want to see the n. Forget 36 iterations. Why are you distracting me? Okay, mask size. Mask size 1. It is not 1, by the way. That's the problem here. It is not 1. So that means I made a mistake somewhere. Where did I make a mistake? Count once. Greater than 0. Oh, I didn't return it. Okay. Nice. Here it is. Okay, mask size 4. It was 58. And there's something wrong here. There's something wrong here. There's something definitely wrong here. What's wrong? What's wrong? It doesn't spread the shit. Doesn't spread the shit. Is it because? Okay. One more time. So here's the mask size, and then that's the resulting iterations, which don't really look great. It doesn't look great. What about when we spread the masks? Do they do anything special? Okay, so what happened here? Okay, so it did okay, I see what's going on here. I think the shape of this entire thing does make sense. You see, we have 2 consequent here and 2 consequent here, and this is the same situation, 2 consequent here and 2 consequent here. Then here we have 4 consequent and then another 4 consequent. 4 consequent and another 4 consequent. Okay, the shape of the spread mask is correct. So we're just merging it back with the base addressing correctly. That's what's going on here. Is it not ZOR, the spread mask, not OR? Probably. It depends on how we prepared it. Okay, so S mask give us what? It gives us ones on ones and zeros on everything else. So I think what we'll have to do here. My cap. God damn it. What we'll have to do here after we do that, I need to end and negate X mask here. Basically set all of that to 0. And now if I replace this thing here, and then try to do it like that. Effective address. There we go. There we go, mother flipper bitch. Okay. It's cool. It's cool. I think it's working. I managed to figure it out. And now 2 fucking 8. Bruh. 2. So, and the moment of truth. The moment of truth. Is it gonna work on the actual input? I fucking hate it. I absolutely hate this stupid advent of code and everything associated with it. Absolutely fucking disgusting. Jesus fucking Christ, I absolutely hate it. What an absolute waste of time. An absolute fucking waste of time. You thinking there's some deep idea behind this problem. You're starting digging deeper and deeper, only to then realize that, well, the data is just trying to debate you, and in fact you can come up with the dumbest solution possible, just waste a bunch of memory, and there you go. So I was looking for satisfaction. Maybe I shouldn't look for satisfaction in advent of code. I don't know. But that's really, really dumb. I absolutely hate it. First try, by the way. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That's the only thing I have to say here. Okay, so I'm pretty sure on a sample 1, it's not gonna work, right? Sample 1 is definitely gonna actually, like, you know, choke itself. I don't know much binary stuff. I just did a bin deck bin and replaced the access and array strings with combination arrays. I guess. So basically, oh, you literally worked on it on the level of a string. Well, that would be very slow, actually. I think it will be very slow. And yeah. So essentially, how I do it, I treat the mask as a stack, right? I treat it as a stack. So, and this is essentially push on the stack, and this is essentially pop off of the stack, and this is looking at the top of the stack. So if you start thinking about masks as a stack, this kind of stuff is super easy to implement. You just like push on the stack, and then you end up with the reverse bits, and you can just push them back. Which is not particularly fast as well. Maybe there's an even faster way to count all of the ones, but I mean, to spread the mask across this kind of stuff, but maybe. The spread mask approach was my first idea, but ended up using recursion to produce all combinations. Yeah, the recursion would be here would be useful because you won't need to like reverse anything here, so. Yeah, I see what you mean. Essentially, yeah. So you're basically iterating the tree, the binary tree, and since you're iterating and since you're recursively doing that, you don't need to reverse anything. It just illuminates like a single step. I see. Yeah, I see what you meant. But I don't like this problem. I don't like this problem at all. And thank you everyone who pointed out that this could be brute forced, because I really was hoping that it's going to be like something deep. But maybe I should get better at estimating problems, right? Because I could have looked at the input and maybe see that there's not that many operations there, right? But in any case, I use the most zero-head approach to generate the masks. Well, my approach, I can go deeper into my approach, okay? So I can actually go deeper into that. So essentially you have this mask for which you need to generate all of the possible things, right? So this mask contains 6 ones, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Maybe let's actually take a smaller mask so it's easier to comprehend, because a bigger mask is not really that great. So we have two ones here. That means you can have 2 to the power of 2 possible masks, right? So you can have 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 1, 0, 1, 0. Right. And what's funny is that if you remove these zeros from the mask, you're gonna end up with simply counting from 0 up until the end. Right. So essentially, if you know the amount of ones, you can basically count from 0 up until 2 to the power of n, where n is the amount of ones, and then if you have a function that spreads these bits across the mask, you can just iterate and then spread the bits and get the masks, something like that. So, but yeah, that was my approach. Copy-pasted. Thank you. Thank you so much for 16 months of tier 1 subscription. Thank you, and welcome to our epic PHP club. Welcome. Alrighty, so yeah, did I try to compile? Oh, by the way, I wonder how it's actually kind of dangerous to do that for a sample too, I think, because it keeps consuming memory. I just generated all combination of axes and then spread them across the actual masks to where axes were originally. But did you do that on the level of strings or on the level of bits? That's an interesting question. Because I'm doing all of that on the level of bits. Oh, you did that on the level. Cool. My respect to you. Anyway, so I hate this problem. This is actually a very bad problem. But I really liked the idea of, you know, turning this problem into querying the segment tree. That was kind of cool. I think you can come up with a very interesting problem, right, where these kind of operations end up as operations on a segment of a memory, right, on a segment of a memory, and then you will have to build a segment tree to efficiently query the actual value at a particular byte. That will be very interesting. The problem here is that with this definition of the problem, a single operation doesn't produce a single segment. It produces several segments simultaneously. Right, so, and to build a segment tree, you cannot just calculate the ends of the segment. You also need to calculate all the intermediate segments. And that ends up looking into the X masks and just seeing how it spreads, and there will be a lot of these small segments. It's really not feasible. But if we reformulate the problem, so each operation ends up as a continuous write, I think that will be very interesting to solve. I think that will be really interesting to solve. You think you're just simulating memory writes, and you end up building a segment tree and doing some like all-fun operations, all n-log-n operations and stuff like that. That will be actually really interesting. I would try to solve something like that. That's why I was so excited about this problem, because I got tricked into thinking that maybe it's one of those, but really unsatisfying problem. Holy shit. Okay. Alright, so overall it works like this, and let's go into committing what we have here. So this is going to be readme. Okay, day is it day? It's day 14, right? It's a day 14. To PHP makefile. Yes, I'm using makefiles. Do you have any problems with me using makefiles? Okay, so here's 13. Oh, it was 14. Okay. Solution in PHP language for tomorrow. It's a secret. It's a secret. So php.net. Okay. Okay. So this is how we're gonna do that. Install PHP 7x something, because we're specifically using 7x, and we're gonna give the link specifically to 7, the latest 7 one, because that was solved on 7th. And make sure PHP is available in path. All right, and then just simply do make. I must double check that this entire thing works. All right. We don't have any garbage in here, so which is nice. 14. Add solution for day 14, and I'm going to push that right into the repo. All of the solutions that we've come up so far are available here. They're available here, and we have 14 solutions here and 14 different languages. Other than PHP files themselves. God damn it. That's a good one. Alright, so holy shit, that's a lot of languages. And all of them are different languages. And by the way, C++, and C are different languages. If you don't believe me, ask any C or C++ developer. Any pure C or modern C++ developer. Both of these people will tell you with like a huge passion that yes, C and C++ are different languages. Trust me, they are different languages. So, as and when, I don't know, we'll see. Will you do all different languages? Yes. I'm planning to actually use like a different language for each individual problem. So, no matter what it takes. Almost. Could you do day 7 in Python, please? That would cost $100. All languages are the same, just different syntax. Exactly. And slightly different semantic as well. Are C++ and modern C++ different languages? Yes. Okay, I see where you're going. Is there anyone here who could help me quickly with class diagram? No. Okay, so 15th problem is already available as far as I can see. So as far as I can see, and but we're not going to solve 15th problem because not everyone solved it. We're lagging behind 1 day. So people have an opportunity to solve the problem, and we don't spoil anything, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, if you want me to solve any of the problems that I already solved in a very specific language, right, in a very specific language, that will be costing $100, and I'm gonna do that, right. So I'll go ahead and translate like any of these problems to your favorite language if you want to. And then you'll be able to copy paste it and pass the problem. Okay, so that's it for today, for Advent of Code. By the way, the music, why is the music so loud and nobody told me that the music is so loud? All right, so yeah, we're done with Advent of Code, and today, according to the schedule, we need to develop TUI framework in Rust. Right, so do you guys like Rust? I think everyone loves Rust. Everyone loves Rust, so and that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna be programming in Rust. So let me show you what exactly we're gonna do. I need to fetch the latest stuff. The stream is not over. No, we haven't programmed in Rust yet. So essentially we have this framework for building like console UI interfaces, but in Rust. So it's kind of like, looks like Flutter. At least some people say that it looks like Flutter, where you can define some UI elements and then control for them, and it will work. So we can take a look at some of the examples, right? So here are some of the examples. We have 5 of them. And for example, the first one could be something like grid, right? So there you go. You can define programs that can lay out elements. Wait a second, it's building. Rust, by the way. you know, the language of the future. So it can lay out elements like this. So we can have a grid of different elements, and it automatically recalculates the positions, the size, and so on and so forth. This is just an example that comes with the library. So yeah, so we can have a grid like that. So another example would be an item list. So another widget that you can have in this framework is item list. And yeah, there you go. You can control it. And this is the predefined element. So if you want to use it in your application, you can just, you know, use it and it will automatically work for you. It supports scrolling, and it supports different sizes. So everything works. So then you can actually create more item lists and have something like a double panel where you have two lists, and then you can switch the focuses between different lists. So this is another example of how you can use our framework. So our framework consists of predefined widgets that you can then combine into layouts and then just control them. So another example would be similar to the previous one, something like transfer list, which actually modifies the lists. So you have two lists here, right? You have two lists here. You can select an element and transfer it to the right list, right? And then you can transfer them back. So yeah, it shows you how to interact with the elements. And right now we're working on edit field element, which will let you enter the text. So right now, the whole example consists of a single edit field that takes the whole screen, and it supports different, you know, operations like inserting characters. It supports Unicode as far as you can see. You can remove the characters and navigate and so on and so forth. I think we even support selections. Yeah, we do support selections. You can select things and replace them and so on and so forth. So it's quite cool. So, and that's what we're developing today. That's what I'm developing, stream title. I'm explaining what I'm about to do. Just give me some time to explain, and I'm going to change the title. Okay. So, yeah, so that's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. And now we can change the title, right? Now I can change the title because I explained what I'm doing. All right. Does it sound interesting? Does it sound interesting? Hopefully it sounds interesting. We're going to use this framework for another application. And yeah, it's not ready. Once it's ready, yeah, we're going to start using it. Does edit field support Vim mode? It doesn't matter, because by default they don't support any controls. You define the controls yourself. Let me show you. So where is the example? Here we go. So essentially, you create edit field, and then you wrap it into a special proxy, and on a particular keys, you call the corresponding actions that are defined for that field. So what's funny is that then you can abstract away that proxy into a function that accepts edit field, and you may have several kinds of controls. You can have a proxy for Vim controls, you can have a proxy for Emacs controls, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so it's really flexible, and you can have like predefined different controls for different kinds of styles. And in the future, we're gonna have you know, different controls for different styles of editors shipped with the framework itself. All right, framework in Rust. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, and let me update the project. Today we are developing TUI framework in Rust. Source code is available in https github.com/tsoding rcui, and there you go. Cool. But before we jump into the Rust development, I want to make another cup of tea. Does anyone have any questions while I'm making a cup of tea? Is this a part of the CM? Yes. We're developing this thing for CM because the state of UI in CM is quite disastrous, and this is because I didn't know what I'm doing. And the reason why I didn't know what I'm doing, because I was exploring. So for me to know what I'm doing, I need to develop the thing and gather enough information. Now I know what I'm doing, and I know how to organize UI properly. And that's why I'm creating this framework, because now I know how to organize UI. What is Rust? Rust is a programming language. Go to Google and put Rust language, and you will find a website that explains you that. So essentially, it's Mozilla's attempt at replace C++, I think. So everybody considering Rust as a, you know, the main competitor to C++ at least. Yeah. I'm not sure if it can actually compete with C++. I'm not sure about that, but will piping into CM be supported, or it will be abandoned in favor of being able to repeat the commands with F5? I remember there was a very specific reason why I disabled piping. One of them is F5, and there was another one. But I forgot about it. But I think it's not going to be coming back. It's not coming back. If you want, for example, why do you need piping? Why do you need piping? So you have a command, right? You have a command, and you need to pipe it into CM. Just wrap it in CM. Or maybe you have a file. Well, just call cat file and run it from CM. You don't need piping in CM. There's literally no use case where it would be like necessary. You can always work around it and quite easily. So you don't really need it. But there was another reason I forgot about it. I really need to document it. Would there be a benefits from using Rust lib for terminal interaction? No, there is no benefits from using Rust at all completely. There's no a single benefit. If you're looking for a benefit, you're missing the point. All right, I'm gonna go to the kitchen and turn on the kettle. Yo, what's up? What's up? How is it going? So, all right, let's fucking do this, roosters. Okay, so let me prepare everything. God damn, I'm still salty that I couldn't apply my epic idea with segments and shit. That would be actually super cool. It's going great, thank you. Well, I'm really glad to hear that, Iron6969. Okay, now let me see. So right now we're working on an edit field, and on top of that, we have a couple of pull requests. Yeah. So let's take a look at them. Okay, so first one, now left word works like an Emacs. Okay, so what it's all about? Recently for edit field, we introduced jumping by words. There you go. You can jump by words. The problem is that when you jump by a word to the left, I would expect it to stop somewhere here. But it doesn't, because the implementation of is Pepega, and I would expect it to do it like this, right? You see, every time you do that in Emacs, it stops, you know, at the beginning of the word. Kind of a workflow thing. It's easy to append CM than to add at the end CM at the beginning. So also using fish-like suggestions, which were better when the command doesn't start with CM. I don't know. I'll need to think about that. I mean, maybe. Okay, you can create... do we have an issue for that in CM? Create an issue for that. We can discuss that a little bit later. Okay, so in this pull request fixes that. So it supposedly makes this thing act like in Emacs. So let's see if it actually does that. So I don't remember if I have your repo available here. Oh, I didn't even fetch the latest changes. Okay, so let me try to do that. I'm really sorry that I'm not in trying to discuss that, but this is because I really need to think, because I remember there was something about that, and I forgot that. So it takes a lot of effort for me to remember that. Just make an issue. We can then later discuss that when I remember that. All right. So name for the new branch. So let me fetch everything. Okay, by the way, on the next advent of Code a Problem, I'm gonna try to assume that you can brute force it. Because I got really debated by today's problem. It's so bad. Okay, did we fetch everything? So fetch all. Yeah. So what's the number of the issue? The number of the issue is 55. So let me quickly take that. And let me rebuild everything. It's gonna be cargo build all targets. I think it's all targets, right? Okay. And let's see. So now, if I have something, yeah, it does work exactly like in Emacs. Ha! I found the crash. Yes, I found the crash. If you try to jump when the thing is completely empty, it's gonna crash. So let's try to fix that. Don't worry, I'm gonna fix that. Yo. Alrighty, haircut. Check out the hair command, please. Can somebody issue a hair command? I'll have to add it to the title. Hair today. Okay. Alright. Okay, let me see. So I'm gonna open the edit field and let's see where exactly it fails. So it should fail in the left word. In the left word. Cool. Yeah, there you go. If position. Position, actually, this is something that you don't consider. There's another, I think, case where it can fail, especially if you adhere. No, it didn't really fail. I wonder why. Ah, I see. Yeah, so essentially you move one left, right? You move one. Does left take into account this stuff? Does it even take into account? So if there's no selection, if there is selection, if it's greater than 0, it does take that into account, but this thing, yeah. There is a self-left. I mean, I already saw that. What's up, try my gun? I would really appreciate you if you spoke English, because it's an English speaking stream and it's too much effort for me to translate every Russian message into English. I'm really sorry about that. Just thinking what would be the best way to do that. We can just check that position is less than the length of the text, but is it going to be a good approach? Well, apparently somebody doesn't listen to me at all, and I really don't appreciate when people just ignore what I said. But maybe you simply don't speak English, who knows? Who knows? Okay, so this is a very dumb solution, but maybe it's gonna work. Okay, so how about that? You need to say it in Russian. I'm not gonna say that in Russian because that would encourage speaking Russian. Okay. Alright. So it's gonna be 55. Fix crash on left word when the edit field is empty. Fix crash on left word when the edit field. Okay, so this is basically we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna push that right into your repo. I'm gonna push that right into your repo. All right. So now we're gonna wait for continuous integration. Wait for continuous integration, and then we're gonna merge all of that. Hacked fork, yes. All right, so let's pour a cup of tea. I think we're ready for a cup of tea. All right, so does anyone have any questions maybe while we're waiting for continuous integration to do its magic? Maybe somebody wants to discuss something, some latest news. What brand of coffee is that? It's not a coffee, it's a tea. My main is Russian, I speak English like Borat, and that's okay. I mean, that's what makes everyone's English beautiful. So don't be ashamed of your English, just embrace it, right? Embrace your English. Okay, so there's some problem with formatting. I forgot to check the Clippy and stuff. Well, Clippy is probably gonna be okay, right? All targets. Cool. And what about FMT? FMT looks okay. Cool. 5 fix cargo FMT remarks. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Do you like Rust syntax and the concept compared to C++ 20 features? I hate both Rust and C++. Absolutely horrible languages. So, does anybody have any other questions about maybe languages, some technologies, or my opinion on technologies and languages? Feel free to ask them. We're just waiting for continuous integration. Do you like PHP 8? Yes, I think PHP 8 is better than both Rust and C++ 20 combined. As a matter of fact, I think PHP 8 absolutes both Rust and C++. So everyone should use, you know, PHP 8. What's your opinion on technologies and languages? I haven't. I have one. So yeah, that's for sure. That's what I can surely say. I have an opinion. What do you think about C#? It's the worst language I ever programmed in. PHP is better. PHP 8 is better than C#, that's for sure. Any other questions, maybe? Honest opinion on Golang, absolutely fucking horrible language. Don't program in it, program in PHP 8. Any other questions? If you had 20 people company, what would you suggest them to do? To program in PHP 8. Why do you like PHP so much? Because it's the best language, obviously. What's your opinion on opinions? They don't matter. The only thing that matters is PHP 8. What about PHP 7? It's obsolete. Why no hair? I've been programming in PHP 8 for too long. Node.js versus PHP. PHP, of course. If PHP 8 is so good, why there's no PHP 9? Well, PHP 8 only recently came out, so they didn't have enough time to develop PHP 9. But they're working on it. What is horrible about Go? It's not PHP 8. What should they add in PHP 9? I don't think they should add anything to PHP 9. I think PHP 8 is perfect. Is there anything line better than PHP? No. Any other questions? Maybe? Maybe somebody have like something interesting to ask? So yeah, feel free to ask me any question, you know, while we're waiting for continuous integration. Should NASA use PHP? I'm pretty sure they're already using it, otherwise they won't be able to run, to send, you know, spaceships and stuff like that, because nothing is possible without PHP. What if I told you PHP 8 is made in C++? I would call you a liar. PHP 8 is made in PHP 8. Check it out. Just download the source code and you will see that it's PHP 8 all the way through. What do you suggest for building an app to grab YouTube URLs? PHP 8. Use PHP 8. Any other questions? So we're still waiting for Windows builds. That's interesting. Any other questions? Maybe? Feel free to ask anything. Yeah. And I will tell you my expert opinion on that. John Carmack said PHP should have been useful. Exactly. Exactly. That's why Doom was not as popular as it could have been if it was written in PHP 8. Because PHP 8 didn't exist back then. Yeah. Why my code doesn't work? Because it's not written in PHP 8. Why PHP 8 sucks? Because it's the best programming language for vacuum cleaners, so it sucks the best. The best sucking language. Anyway, so let's merge this pull request. I think everything's okay. All right. Looks good to me. Thank you for your contribution. There we go. And let's merge that right into the repo. Bruh. Why should I use JS instead of PHP? You shouldn't. That's the easiest answer. Okay, let's fetch more shite. Why PHP over Golang? Because Golang is not PHP, that's why. Obviously. Like, I don't understand how that is not obvious for you. Do you really have to explain such a simple things? Right. Golang is not PHP. PHP is PHP. So, PHP is better than Golang. Because Golang is not PHP and PHP is PHP. Jesus fucking Christ. My God. Why do I have to explain such a, like, you know, trivial, simple things? All right, so merge origin master. Okay, good. And we have the second pull request, by the way. We have the second pull request. So what's gonna be the second pull request? Now page up and page down work. Oh, holy shit, that's actually cool. That's actually pretty cool. So remember how I showed that we have an example with, you know, item lists and sheds, right? The fuck just happened? Fuck you said to me? Oh yeah, I just created a separate tab in TeamViewer because that happens from time to time. I'm sorry. Example 02 item list. Okay. Yeah, you see? So you can go up and down, but we don't have a page up and page down operation for this widget yet, right? We don't have it. But Lindro Braga implemented that operation for us. So how about we take a look at it and review and see if it suits us. Right. Hope it's useful. We'll see about that. So here's the okay. So you can even use page up and page down, and it introduces like a separate action for the item list. Oh yeah, this one is interesting. Yeah. So you essentially need to maintain the size of the window and stuff, and the question is, how do you do that? Yeah, so this is one of the problems that I was thinking about, how we're gonna handle all of that. So we have a sync window. How do you do a sync window? It's like similarly to sync scroll. Yeah, I see what you did there. Okay, not bad. What I was thinking is that maybe we could have introduced like a resize event, but maybe not. But that's okay. I think this is an okay solution. Yay. Cool. So now we're gonna have a page up and page down. All right. So let's actually take a look at this particular thing. So the issue is number 14. Right here is a 14, and let us see. So I'm gonna do cargo build all targets. All targets. And wait a second, did I? It was actually too fast. I cannot believe that it was too fast. Let me clean that and rebuild all targets yet again, just in case, because it's a little bit sus. It's a bit sus, not gonna lie. So how are everyone's doing while we're waiting for building? Does anybody have any questions? By the way, you can ask like proper questions. Like you don't have to ask stupid questions, because I only answer like that to stupid questions, right? If you ask something like legit and interesting, I may answer actually properly. It's just my answer depends on the quality of the question. If your question is trash, well, you're gonna receive the similar answer. Just arrive what to know if you like PHP. Just use it and don't think about it. Why my PP is hard? Because you're watching Sodium stream. Any other question? Again, the quality of my answer depends on the quality of the question. So just keep that in mind. Right? I'm not answering like that to any question. Like the quality of my answer depends on the quality of the question. Why my PHP hard? Because you haven't updated it. What is the state of WCC development? It's paused right now because I have a lot of other things to do. So I'm really sorry about that. But I hope to revive its development at some point. But yeah, too many projects, unfortunately, too many projects. I have the same haircut, I can take your place. That's not how it works, I'm sorry. All right, I think it built. Where is the wiggle graphics? I removed it, I don't think it's useful. What's the best effect system? What is effect system? In the context of Haskell and Haskell-like languages. I don't really care, to be fair. Just use languages with the side effects and you don't have to think about effect systems, because languages had effect systems since 60s, okay? So, and people didn't think about that. People didn't have to invent them. The languages just supported them automatically because the CPU can make side effects. Just You need side effects, just use side effects. That's my opinion. And that's, by the way, I like OCaml better than Haskell, because in OCaml, if you want to do side effects, you just do side effects. That's it. There's no bullshit here, right? You want to do side effects, go ahead, do them. So, cover the chat. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons. It's not useful. It only obscures the chat. So. Don't really like it. Sorry. Anyways, so let me take a look at some of the examples here. So it's going to be a run example 02 item list. Rest in peace functional privity. Well, all right. So it jumps by, okay, that's cool. It jumps by the size of the, it's okay. All right, I like that. I like this behavior. I think it's cool. All right, so I'm gonna merge that. Do we have any to-dos? Maybe unmerge to-dos? No, everything seems to be okay. That's a lot of, yeah, you were fixing the probably formatting and stuff like that. All right, looks good to me. Thank you for your contribution. Boom. I came from C. Same. I love C so much. I do the same every time. And I want to learn Rust. Any advice? I think we have a command for learn Rust. So check out these 3 links. All right. So, and let's merge that right into the repo. The book is pretty good. I'm using it. I don't know. I didn't read any books on Rust. So this list is composed by Out9, and she knows a lot about Rust, so I just trust her. So yeah. Okay. Cool. I hope new hairstyle is not due to illness. Well, have you read the title? All right. See, it's pointless to add anything to title. People don't read it. No 0, but that's exactly the point. So, but what's funny is that write also accepts the file, right? So they didn't provide the file. They only provided the buffer and the size of the buffer. So I think we found a fake C developer. A fake C developer exposed. X-fucking-posed. So I think we fetched everything here. And let me merge origin master. Yeah, fake C developer. Like if you have a legit C developer, you knew that write function actually accepts 3 arguments. So sorry, you're a fake C user. There's nothing you can do about that. And oh goddamn, okay, so Lindo brother, I'm not sure if you're still here, but there's a pretty cool thing on GitHub called keywords, right? So essentially, if in the description of the pull request you do close that issue, I'm gonna show you. So let me open one of my previous pull requests. For example, this one. Hopefully that's contained. Yeah, so essentially say, like, just write in the description here, close this issue, the issue that you're solving. That means if I merge this pull request, it will be automatically closed, so I don't have to chase the issues that I have to close after I merge your pull requests. So yeah, it's kind of useful. So I would really appreciate you to put that next time. Okay, so now I have to go and say something like, Yeah, so you see I have to do a lot of manual work. It's not really convenient. And GitHub is slow. So it's resolved by this. And I'm gonna close that. And it takes some time. Now that one. Automate this work with Python. Yes, sounds like a good idea. Oh my god, it's so slow. Sometimes it doesn't even work properly. What's up, FinCC? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. How are you doing? Resolved by... Okay, 56 closed. Let's commit. Cool. So let's close everything here. Nice. Alright, now we need to pick an issue to work on. Our CUI. So, what do we have here? Replace F1 and F2 with Shift Left and Shift Right. Yeah, so here's the problem. I don't know how in Incursus to detect Shift Left and Shift Right. So, I'm sorry, I hit the mic. I hope it was not too loud. Okay, so Incursus Shift Left. How can you detect something like that? Incursus trapping extended keys, Control Left Shift function. Was it too loud? It wasn't too loud, okay. I'm trying to trap Control Left, Shift 10, etc. in my Ruby program. Okay, Curses was designed at the time before people were really doing modifiers in terminals. Its key handling model is effectively a flat enumeration of values and doesn't easily handle arbitrary key plus modifier combination. To solve this better, I wrote... Jesus cracking Christ, who fucking answers like that? Why is it in... Oh, I know why it's in Russian. God damn, I had to disable my VPN because of the internet shit. Write something special, go and get... Okay. Let's see, maybe we can just print what kind of keys do we receive, and I wonder how we can do that. So maybe we can try to... It's going to be control key, right? It's going to be definitely control key, and we can create a simple example. Yeah. Okay, so let's create an example. 06 debug RC. I didn't really want to create a folder. 06 debug RC. Why am I creating a folder? Am I that dumb? Yes, I think I'm that dumb. Okay. So, and here is the simple example of using RCUI. So essentially you just do use RCUI, then you have an entry point, right? So, and I do RCUI exec, right? And then I probably want to create item list. I think the easiest thing to do here would be create item list. I think I'm going to go with a very empty one. You know, let's create a special constructor for item list that creates an empty item list. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a generally good idea. So item list is located somewhere here. Here it is, and we have a bunch of wrappers in here. And let's do the following thing. It's going to be empty. It doesn't accept anything, as you can see. Self, and it's going to be like so. Return self new with an empty vector like this. Hopefully that will do the trick. Or maybe you can do something like, you know, vec default, maybe vec new. Yeah, vec new, and that will be essentially the same thing here. And here's the empty thing, and yeah, that's the simplest application you can come up with, actually. That's the simplest one. A single item list, and you put it into the event loop, and it just works. So let's see if this entire stuff compiles or not. Let's see if this entire stuff compiles. Cargo build. All targets. And it doesn't. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? RCY is not found because this is not how it works apparently. Okay, so 05. Or maybe I have to specify what's going to be the elements or something. Yeah, maybe that's what it wanted. Oh, we need to import everything from RCY. That's basically what it is. No? All right. So empty doesn't do what exactly I want to do. All right, this empty was useless because I need to return it boxed. I need to return it boxed. So that means I'm going to do the following thing. I'm going to do wrap, and I'm going to do this thing like that. All right, it's going to compile. Hopefully it compiles. Okay, cool. So let's take a look. So here it is. So it's just empty, but there's no way for me to exit unless Control-C. So we need to write a simple proxy. A simple proxy. So let me see. So here's the edit field. So this is going to be proxy wrap. This one is going to be just new. And it accepts a function, right? It accepts a function that accepts the list, the context itself, and the event, right? And the event, right? And there we go. So that allows you to capture the events and do something on them. For example, you can check what's the event. So right now we care only about keystroke events, right? Keystroke events. And if it is a keystroke event, we need to check what kind of event is that. All right. So specifically, I think I care about Q. Right. If I press Q, I want to essentially quit the entire event loop, and this is how we do that. Right. So you found the Q, and then you ask the whole framework to just exit. So is it going to compile? It doesn't compile because something about parentheses. Right, here's another one. For the rest of these things, it doesn't matter. What's that? Okay. Is it going to work now? So we have some of these things that are not used, so I'm going to put it like this. There we go. So now I can press Q and it will exit. Cool. So the thing I want to do now, by the way, every time we receive an event, I want to take that event, right, and turn it into a string. So I can just basically format it, maybe in terms like debug format it, like this. And I'm going to push it to the list as an element, because list is a bunch of strings, so I can literally push it into there. And let's see what's going to happen. It doesn't compile because we ignored that list. We don't want to ignore it. And event should implement format debug. Right, so let's go to librc and see where we have an event, and it's located somewhere here. And it's going to be derive debug. There we go. Cool. So now every time I type I generate an event, that event is going to be added to the list, and that will enable me with debugging some stuff. You see, it's kind of cool. And then I can quit. But maybe it makes sense to do that for the things that we don't handle, right? For the things that we don't handle. So we're gonna push it when we don't handle this thing, and we're gonna push it when we don't handle this thing. So we'll have to do that in two places. Why do you say librc if it's librs? Because English is my second language. Okay, so I also want to handle like something like J rcy left. It actually has to be down. Has to be down. Up. Cool. is... Oh, it's not RCOI because it's a list. There we go. Cool. So let me try to do that, and I can generate a bunch of things, and I can, you know, iterate through them if I want to. So, and this is how much code it took to develop something like this, right? So we have a list. You can scroll through it. You can check some events. And yeah, this is how much code it took. So you basically describe UI like this, and yeah, there you go. Rust. I mean, what do you mean? I don't understand. All right. I think Igodook just misread you, so don't worry about it. Okay, so what if I want to do shift? Holy shit. Okay, I need a way to clean everything. I skip first word. The stream. Oh, I see. That's okay. We need a way to clean everything, so I want to try the following thing. It's going to be something like C, maybe? And do we have like a list clear operation? That would be kind of cool. We don't have a list clear operation. Would you look at that? So that means we'll have to go to item list and implement that operation, because we can't clean it. We can push things into this thing, but we can't clean it. Okay, so this is going to be something like clear. It's going to take a mutable self, but it's not going to take any other arguments. Clean when you quit, why? Self items clear. Self position. I really don't like that the cursor... Oh, the cursor is not... Okay, that's okay. We need this beard. Very original. Alright, let me see. Okay, it does compile. Now we can do something like this. And then I can clean everything. And then I can add more. Okay, so that's cool. At any point I can clean the log. Right, and alright. So what I want to have, I want to somehow handle shift left. Right, that's what I want to do. I want to handle shift left. So if I type shift left, this is the amount of events I receive. I receive 27, 91, 49, 59, 50, 67. Does anyone know what the fuck all of that means? So 27 is escape, right? So 27 is definitely escape. Not even 69. So it's an escape sequence, right? So it's a basically escape sequence. If I just press right, okay, left, right is pretty straightforward. Okay, but shift left is actually the whole escape sequence. All right. Escape sequence shift left. Maybe there's something like this. Escape sequences usually start with escape, and 27 is escape. ASCII 27. Yeah, there you go. Here's escape. Here it is. Here it is. So and then we have. Oh, that's cool. This is. I think it's a resize of some sort. Yeah, also receive resize. ANSI codes. Shift left, single shift 2. By the way, if you try to do something like that in Bash, they don't really type anything particularly useful. Change should be 1. No, it is not 1. It is 1 when I just type shift or right. So this is just, yeah, I mean left and right in an arrow. But this is what happens with a shift. Maybe I can take this sequence of characters. I wish I could easily copy paste it. I mean, I think I can copy paste it quite easily. Right, and just put it there. Holy shit, I'm sleepy. What the fuck? Oh shit, what the fuck is this? It didn't properly copy paste it at all. Okay. Delete trailing white spaces. Key as left constants. Are you sure that they are? Okay. I wonder if I can Google this. Fuck's sake. Okay. Let me try something else. Edit fields. Maybe that's what we can try to find. So, yep. Escape sequence. To find which key binding is represented by. Is represented by a particular sequence of keys. Okay, cool. As long as the terminal generates input control sequence in ECMA whatever. You can feed it to my console decode ECMA. Why everyone's shilling their tools? Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck is wrong with Stack Overflow or something? Wait a second, did he just sort of referenced himself in such a pretentious fucking way? This is the most pretentious shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Really? I think it's him. Holy shit, okay, but maybe his tool is useful, I don't know, we'll see. Holy shit. ECMA 48 sequences. Welp, that's a huge pain in the ass. ECMA 48. So apparently we're gonna go into a huge, like a standard rabbit hole. I'm not really big fan of going there. Control function and their code representation for using it. Okay, I see. So let's take a look. Can we use some of this stuff? Like, is there a source code for this thing? Is there a source code or not? Console decode. Source code. Am I that bad at Googling? Is it even open source? Like, I don't see anything. Well, I want to do that. I don't want to do that. So maybe there's something for Rust, ECMA 48. Oh shit, we have something. Rust control code. Control code parsing and format. Oh, holy shit, this is probably what we need. This is probably what we need in our lives. Let's take a look at that. Maybe that's what we can use here. Creates IO. That would be pretty cool if we could use something like this. Rust control code. And it's not available, or maybe it's not on crates or whatnot. I don't know how you get into the crates.io. So maybe you have to upload it there. Maybe you have to do something else. I don't know how it works, so I'm really sorry. But yeah, as far as I know, you can depend on things via the GitHub link, and I think this is something that we already done at some point. Yeah. So this is something that we already done at some point. So let me try to do that one more time. So we're gonna do control code, and I'm not sure if it supports dashes here, so I'm gonna try to assume that maybe it does. And here is the, I don't really have particular features here, so I'm gonna try to depend on this thing. I'm gonna try to depend on this thing, and let's try to build that. There was a crates.io icon. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a control code. It's not Rust control code. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that actually simplifies everything. All right, so let me see if we can use something here. Cargo build all targets. So maybe we can use some of this goodness to do a proper stuff. We'll see. So is there any documentation for this thing? Here's documentation. Hopefully automatically generated one. So modules, C0, C1, SCI, DEC, SGI. So I suppose it's like different formats or whatnot. I'm not quite sure, but how do we use them? So there's a function parse. Okay, so it takes a slice of options U32 and returns a small vector. What is a small vector? It depends on a small. Okay, I didn't look how many things it depends. Does it really need to depend on so many things? Like on how many things? It depends on a small vec. I have no idea what the fuck is small vec, but okay, so it uses it. And it returns SGR, and SGR is one of those. Okay, it's one of those things. Cool. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I guess it's okay. It's not best, but something. Alright, did it build? I think it... I guess it built, but we didn't really use anything so far. So, deck... and all of them have this interface there where they parse things, okay. CSI parse. Okay. You know what? I want to kind of clone. No, not clone, but take the source code of this thing and just grab it, just to see what we can find there. There is supposed to be a we already discussed that. Oh my god. Grab. Okay. Left. I didn't find anything. Left. What about right then? Scroll right. Okay. I'm just thinking, these are... Oh, shit. Yeah, it's a very difficult topic. Yeah, so I think I'm not gonna work on it right now. It's just too much work. So maybe we can work on something. How can we in general solve that? So maybe we can basically detect that we receive an escape sequence, right? We detect that we receive an escape sequence, and it doesn't matter what that escape sequence means, right? What matters is that we associate this escape sequence with a particular action, right? So that's what it means. So the meaning of the specific escape sequence doesn't really matter. Okay, so ANSI escape sequence. Is there any like official way of ending an escape sequence? Because escape sequence starts with escape, obviously. What does it end with? What does it end with? Holy shit. I'm actually regret that I asked that. Okay, so maybe I really need to postpone that. Maybe it's just, yeah. Yeah, it's a huge rabbit hole. It's a huge rabbit hole. All of these terminals, UTFs, time zones, such a huge rabbit hole and such a waste of everyone's time. Holy shit. Let's work on something else. Let's work on something else. Okay. So let's pick something that is feasible to do within the stream. Operations to remove items from item list. Okay, that sounds actually good. Let's try to work on that. Oh, this is... God damn it. This is exactly why you need to put close into the pull request, because I forget closing that. God damn it. Okay, it's okay, don't worry about that. It's my fault that I didn't explain that properly. Wait, what? And I cannot find the pull request in which we actually... God damn it. It's a mess. What was the pull request? What's the pull... So, do we have it or not then? Item... Oh my god, it's such a mess. Remove... What do have it? Okay. Close. Okay, text doesn't support wrapping around. Operations to insert new items into item list. We do have that. Well, no, we don't have that because we cannot insert new item. Yeah. Okay, so that's quite important. Let's implement that. This is actually kind of cool. You can already push elements at the end of the list, but that's not what I mean here. That's what I mean. What I mean here is an ability to insert the elements after or before the cursor, right? So I'm in trash apparently. Oh, this is because it moved to the trash or something. I don't know. RCUI. Okay, git branch. So, and I can do cargo run example 02 item list. I wish it compiled fast. Okay, so you can already insert elements. Maybe it would be better to have something like transfer list. Transfer. Yeah, so right now you can transfer them, but you append them to the end. What I want to be able to do, I want to be able to actually insert them after or before the cursor. And maybe we can even extend this specific example to use these kind of operations. That would be cool, I think. Let's actually do that. I think it's something feasible. Unlike the escape sequences shit. Escape sequences shit is just, you know, makes me depressed. Yeah. It just makes me depressed. Alright. So here's the branch 8, and let's go to the item list. So we already have push, right? So here's the push. And we're going to introduce a couple of operations here. First operation is insert after, right? And basically insert after the cursor, right? So we take the item and we insert it after. So I'm going to do something like this. So can I do something like item list? I wonder if I can do something like that. I think to do accepts the message. If it doesn't matter. Insert before. Right, mute self item. I'm gonna move it here. Before. Okay, so we have a couple of these things that are not used. Yep. Cool. Let's open the transfer list, and in the transfer list, instead of push, we can try to use something like insert after. I think that would be interesting. Right? Instead of like push, you do insert after. And of course, now if you go to transfer list, right, and if you try to push something, it will crash because it hit our to do, not implemented yet. This thing insert after is not implemented. So this is exactly what we need to implement. Sounds great. Sounds great. I think it sounds great. And I wonder if we'll have to move the cursor afterwards. We'll see about that. All right, Shadow, you ready? Is that a happy hacking keyboard? No, it is not. Cool. Let me see. Item list. How can I insert after? I mean, there is probably like a special case. If cursor is greater or equal to the item's length, right? In that case, what we need to do here is push a new element, right? We have to push a new element. Items push. And we push that item there, and this is the item that we're pushing there. So this will happen if the item list is empty. Okay, otherwise, there's another case here. What we're doing essentially is inserting. So let me take a look. Here is that. And where is the vector? So when I'm inserting things, first I provide the index, insert an element at position. So if I just use that, it would be before insert after. Before. It will be insert before, but we are implementing insert after, and this is where we'll have to be a little bit careful, right? So that means we'll have to do cursor plus 1, right? Cursor plus 1, and this is how we're gonna do that. But again, what if it's the last one, right? What if it's the last one? And I think that's where we have to be a little bit careful. I think it has to be cursor plus 1. If it's greater or equal than length, we'll have to push that. And it takes into account both of the situations. And what's funny is that... do we need to move? Yeah, I think we'll have to move the cursor forward. Yeah, after that we'll have to move the cursor forward. Probably in both of the cases. And maybe because of that, we'll have to first move the cursor forward and then check if everything's okay. And it doesn't compile because cursor is self-cursor. There we go. Cool. Now, if I try to run that, it still fucking crashes. Because I was implementing a wrong thing. Okay. You see, I'm tired. Okay? I'm tired. Alright, I was implementing the wrong function. Ah, shit. Fuck. Fuck. Shit. Item. So this is another one, and so we're making an add-on Russian smiley face. Yes, my comrade. That's what we're doing. We're adding making the add-on. All right. So what do we have? It seems to be working, but goddamn it! Oh shit. Cool. So this is gonna be cross. Okay, there's like several situations here, right? If the cursor already greater than that, we'll have to just do that. Else if cursor +1 is greater or equal, +1 is greater than or equal to this kind of situation, then we'll have to push and increment, and the last situation is we have to do that and 100% increment but remove that. So there's like 3 cases here, and it's not particularly great. It's not particularly great, but whatever. Right, and you can, the cool part here is that you can change this cursor now, and it will insert not at the end of that list, but after that cursor. Why is it inserting before? Yeah, because it is supposed to be +1 here, but I mean, it did it well. It did it well. Alright, so that's gonna be the idea. So you see, then I can put it here, and it will insert that after that cursor. So yeah, it inserted after. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah. You see what it means? I mean, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. And then you can go back, and the last 4 elements are gonna stay 0, 1, 2, 3. Well, not really. What do you mean? Yeah. In the second list, need to keep still. It doesn't matter. When I'm inserting new things, I want it to update, usually. Okay, so here's the insert after. Cool. So insert before. If self cursor already. And by the way, so to make sure, we can just set it to 0. So it's kind of a similar situation to this one. Else if. Alright, so we're just inserting before. Okay, this one is actually pretty straightforward. I think there's only like the second branch. And we're just doing that. But without +1 and without updating the cursor, maybe. So, yeah. Item. Cool. Nice. And let's take a look. So I think I need to update the example though. I need to update the example now before. No, it's not that. Transfer list. Where's transfer list? After. I need to replace after with before, like this. And let's just try to run that. And yeah, there we go. So the idea here is the following. So both insert and after inserting, focus the cursor on the newly inserted item. That's the idea behind it. That's why in case of insert before, the cursor is not moved, and in case of insert after, it is moved, because it's constantly focused on the element that was just inserted. Make sense? Makes sense. Maybe it's going to be customizable, I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the basic idea here. So, and I think I'm gonna do with after for now. All right, so here's the implementation, pretty much. Introduce insert elements, insert items operations for item list. And before I push that, I'm gonna check with Clippy. Clippy, all targets. Check all targets, and everything seems to be okay. How about FMT? And FMT is also okay, so let's just push that right into the repo and create the pull request. Okay, and let's just close that. I didn't want to close that, I want to close that. Cool. It was pretty straightforward. It's actually a very simple operation, but yeah. So, okay. Today was a pretty cool stream, not gonna lie. We programmed in PHP. We solved an advent of code problem. A very unsatisfying one, though. It's just a decision, but I would expect the other way around the cursor stay. It can be customizable. I'm making it for CM, and in CM it is like that. If in the future somebody needs something else, they can submit the pull request, whatever. So yeah. Yeah, today was a pretty cool stream. We solved the advent of code problem, very unsatisfying one, but we solved it nonetheless. And we also did a little bit of work on our CUI, because it's kind of difficult to do any like project work for me these days because of the advent of code. But I'm not complaining. I kind of enjoy doing advent of code, and I'm really happy that other people watch me doing advent of code and struggle with it. So it definitely makes it a little bit easier. But in any case, it is time for me to go, boys and girls. It is time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate that. Have a good one, and I see you, guess when? Guess when I'm gonna see you all? According to the schedule, I'm gonna see you all tomorrow, and tomorrow we're supposed to be programming in C++. But before we start programming in C++, we need to finish another advent of code problem. And I'm not have not decided on the language yet, so the language tomorrow is going to be surprise. So check out our schedule page for more information on different projects we're working on, even though in a month of advent of code it's not really relevant, but I mean still. And also check out our VODs channel, where we upload all of the recordings of our streams. This stream is going to be there, but tomorrow we upload them on the next day. And also check out our Discord server for offline discussion with the community. And yeah, that's it for today, boys and girls. That's it for today. Love you all.